Alrighty, what up, everybody? Let's go and get the drivers meeting out of the way. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, enjoyed a little bit of time off, friends and family. Welcome to race number 9 here in the Premier Truck Series at Kansas. Please run off the track after the drivers meeting is completed. Tonight will be a total of 125 laps. We'll have stages of 20 and 50. That is 20 and 50. No faster break forward, just set the tires. These names are note, the only black flags will look later passenger yellow to direct cars wrecking into the pits. We will not clear black flags for speeding through pits or unsafe entry or exit. During the restart, to keep the pack tightened up, land back and jump to start will result in a penalty. And when taking the green flag, you must maintain your line if you do cross that stripe. After the yellow flag's out and you sit and ready for any wreckage, please catch up to the pace car immediately to prevent delaying others. And when cycling through green flag stops, state over the radio what your intentions are to allow others to move around you. Good luck. Have some fun.
Welcome, everybody, to our DES Premier race here. It's going to be at Kansas, which is an amazing mile and a half in these trucks. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Jeff Dinda and a blast from the past. We're going to have Jamie Howell. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, Edwin. Thanks for asking.
Here, here. Drink some beer.
Yes, we are here for an amazing race. You know, Premier guys, they tend to go green to green, but Kansas is one of those tracks where you're going to be tight up on each other. You're going to be running right there with each other. And if we take a look at their points battle, top 8 will be the ones qualifying for the playoffs. Currently, right now, John Crosby is leading the way. Hunter Davis is in P2. Right at that cut line, we have Todd Perrant, and Jonathan Geis is the guy on the outside looking in right now. He's going to need a great finish to come back on top. Now, we're going to hit our starting lineup, and I'm going to let you, Jeff, take care of that, or Jamie, whichever one of y'all wants to do it.
Starting row 1, the 48, Max Denda. The 73 on the outside of John Crosby. Row number 2 is Jason Phillips, moving up from the Legacy race. The 001, outside of him is Judson Curtis in the 35. Row 3, you got the 88 of Hunter Davis. Outside of him, the 69 of Todd Perrant. Row number 4 is Jonathan Geist in the 32 and Brian Sousa in the 60. Row number 5 has Chuck Burley on the number 4 on the inside and Ben Kuhn in the 40. Row 6 is Thomas Long in the 23 and Mark Holloway on the outside in the 56. Row number 7 is Brandon Hinton in the 5, and outside of him is Sean Dion in the 3.
That is going to round out our qualifiers. We are getting ready to go. They're coming around. They're going to have to do, I believe, one more lap. Here's the thing about Kansas, right? At nighttime, this track races like a super speedway. In the daytime, it's hotter, slicker. You do have to get out of the throttle, but it's going to be a multi-groove track out there. So I expect to see these guys all over the place. What about you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Racing.
Yep, go ahead, Jamie.
Go ahead. You started.
Yeah, we got stage breaks at 20 and 50, total laps 125. I just want to give a shout out real quick to Jason Phillips. He's our golden ticket. He's our premier 001 machine. He finished in the top 3 in the last race. And just going to point out, Jason's a really good racer. In the Legacy trucks, again, he finished in the top 3. He's missed quite a few races in Legacy, but I believe Jason Phillips will be in the playoffs for Legacy trucks, and he's going to show us, what he's got tonight. So I'm real happy to talk about him tonight.
Yeah, he is definitely a strong contender, but he's in a different class now. You know, we run with these guys in the Legacy as well, but when they come to Premier, they kind of take it up that extra notch. Like, think about somebody like Todd Perrant. He will run sub top 15 all race long in the Legacies, but then in here in Premier, he's out front. That should tell you that these guys are sandbagging, but then they are to their fullest extent here. So we're about to go green. Max is going to be the leader. Once that green flag comes out, we're rocking and rolling here in Kansas. Good start from Max right there. John Crosby to his outside. Now John Crosby's going to try and carry that momentum on the outside, try and battle back. Todd Perrant under attack by Jonathan Geis. Hunter Davis tucked under our golden ticket winner there in the front. Justin Curtis also on the high side. Max is still holding strong, keeping John Crosby at the back of him. Let's see who comes out on top on exit of turn 4. It appears to be Max. He is going to lead the first lap of Kansas. As we can see, we're still double file all the way back. Looks like Todd Perrant is now going to be the first car on that higher line. He is going to be passed by Jonathan Geist, and now he's going to settle into his position in the P7 position, and he's still going to keep it up top. He's going to run that middle line as Chuck Burley, his former teammate, is going to poke his nose in on the bottom side and try and take that position from him, as the rest of the top 6 nose to tail in a straight line. John Crosby trying to find a way around Max. He's going to actually tuck back behind him and ride this corner out. John Crosby to the inside of Max now. Max gave up that line. John Crosby's going to get into that position and gets pushed up a little bit by the golden ticket winner of Jason Phillips. Now he is looking to head in the wrong direction. He could potentially fall all the way back to P3 at this point. John Crosby, he is going to hold that position. Look how he runs that middle line down the back straightaway. You run that middle line to kind of cover off the rest of the competition, kind of keep them from being able to pull up on you, because when you're in that middle line, they have to either commit to shallow entry of the corner, which is going to cost them speed, or try to go to your outside, but they're going to have to lift a lot sooner, and it's going to cost them as well. Well, now that we're single file, Jeff, what do you think of the races so far, as Max is going to battle back for his P2 spot?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, the one thing about Kansas is it's full throttle, right? And we see Max just get a little wiggle there. It's full throttle, right? You can save, but saving here really isn't going to do anything. With stage brakes at 20, 50, those guys can comfortably run that on their tires. Fuel, the last stage, we're going to break that up probably somewhere in the middle. Maybe somebody will run a little long. These guys won't have. These guys never have many cautions, so this is going to be full throttle racing, and this is exciting.
Yeah, they're right up there with that, holding down the throttle, but the problem is when you do that, you do burn up the tires. With this field being smaller, they're more likely to start having to lift into the corner, as we watch here as Judson Curtis is in the P5 position, but can't seem to get to Hunter. But he's got Jonathan Geist breathing down his neck, who now has Todd Perrant looking at him. So we've got an interesting separation here, right between Hunter and Judson, who are our top 2 seeds in last season's Premier League, where Judson Curtis ended up taking the championship. These two are formidable foes, and the gap seems to be developing right between them. Look at that. Judson Curtis holds that middle line. Nobody has anywhere to go. Max got squiggly. He had a run, had momentum, but there was just nowhere to go. And so Crosby's going to maintain that lead.
Seemed like he got a little bit of aero tight and washed up some. With Phillips coming up behind him like that out of 4.
Yeah, Jason Phillips is not cutting him any breaks. Being that close to him on exit at the corner, it will actually, in fact, give you an arrow push. So good call there, Jamie. It will shove you up kind of on the exit of turn 2.
It looks like Curtis is running high and going on his entry. That way he can get some clean air to get away from Hunter Davis's dirty air, but it's not really working for him as well as he anticipated. But there's a long way to go.
Yeah, they've got a while. We're only at lap 10, and we still need to make it to lap 20 for their first stage break. So these guys are probably taking this chance to learn a lot, as Brandon Hinton on the bottom side gets around Chuck Burley back there. He is now going to be looking to attack Jonathan Geist and potentially take position from him. There goes Ben Kuhn on Chuck Burley as well. He's looking to move forward. Todd Perrant has gotten past Jonathan Geist, so now we've got a bit of a different situation going on here.
And no surprise, we have John Crosby out front. His fastest lap was a 30.272. His last lap was a 31.08. So, their time's already dropping off. All of these guys are running in the 31s right now. They were all running in the 30s for their fastest lap.
And they're pushing hard, using their equipment up early here. Dice gets in the wall, and Burley's going to make a run on him. Or excuse me, that was that Kuhn. Excuse me, yeah.
Ben Kuhn, our previous race winner, he actually pulled out the win at Bristol. He was the underdog pick in that race, was able to come home with the checkered flag and trophy that day, as Brandon Hinton is now looking to the inside of Jonathan Geist here for the position of P7. Geist into the wall. And that's going to allow Hinton to just sail by, because Geist is just not going to have any momentum to prevent that. It took some time talking to Jonathan Geist, and he's normally a very cautious driver, doesn't take any risky moves, but he said that he is now ready to start taking those more aggressive moves, and clearly he tried it there and it got into the wall, but that's just a learning moment. He's just building on that, and eventually you're going to see him able to battle back on people in a very serious way, and he's going to become a tough competitor to pass.
Phillips trying to look under Dinda going into one here. Put any pressure on him, make him make a mistake. Oh, Dinda gets on the apron. Phillips, Dinda in the wall. Phillips is going to get a run here. Hunter Davis going to come up behind and probably help him here. Oh no, he goes down with Phillips.
Good move on Hunter Davis. That's going to get him moving in the right direction, get him back towards the front. It's been a while since we've seen a Hunter Davis win, so he's definitely looking. Oh, look at him. He kind of peeked there, trying to go 3 wide for a second, but just didn't have the speed to get there yet.
Yeah, the interesting thing with stage break coming up at 20, Jason, obviously, stage points don't matter for him, but, we're talking about 10 points for first all the way down to 1 point for 10th place, and those points add up pretty quick, and, Hunter's going to give Max here a battle here in the last 3 laps.
And at the end of the season, they matter a lot. 1 point at a time, you can point them to death and win the championship.
Especially with them coming up close to their playoffs. Yes, Hunter is currently in second in points, but there are additional points for being the regular season championship, which is currently held by John Crosby. So he definitely wants to get up there and get past him and take that position away from him.
Judson Curtis got by Dinda. Dinda's getting hounded by Davis at the moment.
And it's really interesting you talk about 1 point. Last season, the last race in Premier, I believe the top 3 were all separated by 1 point, and Crosby ended up winning it. And it was because of stage points in the last race of the season.
Yeah, if you know you're not good enough to win the race, you got to be good enough to just point it, be consistent. They can't say you're bad if you're consistent.
Yeah, points racing is a totally different type of racing. And there's some people who are absolutely amazing at it, and those guys usually kind of beat the guys who are only good at winning races, because you can win all the races in the season. You can win a lot of races in a season, but all the races you don't win, if you're finishing sub 15th, sub 20th, that guy who's consistently in the top 5 every week, week in, week out, will beat you.
There's our stage.
Stage break here at lap 20. John Crosby is going to bring it home, with Jason Phillips going to be in his P2 position, Judson Curtis P3, Max Dinda P4, Hunter Davis in P5, Todd Perrant in the P6 position, Brandon Hinton gets up to the P7, Ben Kuhn in P8, Geist all the way back in P9, and then Chuck Burley takes it home in P10. Those are your stage point earners. And we're going to take a quick break and come back with the excitement and see if anybody pits under this break.
Oh yeah, they're pitting.
We are double file here. Pace car lights are off. Getting ready to go green flag racing again here at Kansas in the Premier League of DESI racing. Crosby takes it green flag. Here we go. 2 wide, 8 deep, 11 deep. Crosby with a huge jump on the field here, 1 and 2. Phillips and Curtis are going to try to get a run here. Denda underneath them. Hunter's going to push him. See if they're going to get a run under the 8 and the 35 here in 3. Judson falls in. Max going to try to push him up there and try to catch Crosby.
And as your senior pit reporter, I watch all these guys take tires, so I'm not surprised. They'll probably run this full stage with what they have. Try to stretch it out. But a couple of these guys, Max is pulled up into 3. He restarted 6. He had a little slow stop, but he had that, first pit stall helped him out a little bit. And Hunter's making a move on Max right now.
We got a truck in the back, top front, tagged the wall just a minute ago, coming off a 2. Looks like it got a little bit of right rear damage, not too much. Maybe it won't cost him too much time and keep up with the field. But he's falling off here a lot. Meanwhile, back up front, Brandon Hinton trying to do something, but he's got Geist all over his rear end. We got the 8 of, who's that behind Max? It's Jason Phillips. Putting a lot of pressure on Denda. Looking to be a 5-truck pull away here.
Yeah, I took a quick look at Todd's truck. It looks pretty clean, so hopefully he might have scraped the wall there with some little bit outside damage, but maybe he'll get back into this mix. But boy, these guys are battling up front.
Yeah, if they line up in a straight line here and just run it like a super speedway, they'd run away from the rest of the pack. As I say that.
Yeah, and hats off to Jason. Again, our entry winner from the earlier race. He's still holding strong in P4. Kudos to Jason. Like I said, Jason has missed a lot of races in Legacy, but I fully expect him to be not only in the playoffs for Legacy, but competing for a championship.
You got to battle for the lead. Curtis on the outside of Crosby does not make the pass. Washed up a little bit, got tight, had to fall back in line. Now he's getting pressured by Phillips. Davis trying to pull up on the outside of Phillips as the cross start finish line here for lap number 26. We're on, 27.
Man, boy, woo, these guys are tight.
Yes.
There's some tight racing going on there. This is pretty exciting up front. I mean, watching these guys battle it out. I mean, like I said earlier, these guys don't have many cautions, and here goes Judson for the lead. He's sticking a nose underneath the 73 machine of John Crosby.
It looks like Max is dropping back a little bit to cool his tires off, so he have another run or a little run at the end of this run at the guys up front. As he does that, though, Hinton, Geist, and Kuhn are going to make a run on him here off of 2. Meanwhile, Phillips is making a run on Crosby. We're going to have a 3-truck battle. Or is Davis going to stick his nose in there, too? That's allowed the second pack to run up on him. Now it's going to be like a 7 or 8 truck pull away.
Yeah, and we talked about Judson a couple of races ago. I mean, Judson missed a couple of races. He had some things going on. Totally get it. But we talked about him in that race. He's got nothing to lose, right? He's got to claw his way up the standings if he wants to make the playoffs. And right now, he's kind of showing that, right? Like, hey, I'm going for this, John. If you want to fight me, let's go.
All cautions to win. Got to win to get in, basically. Not exactly, but get the big money points up front if you win.
Yeah, and that was a great look we had there it looked like a start-finish line on the white stripe as those cars went past, and probably missed it on the broadcast, but it was pretty quick. But that's a pretty cool look, and watching these guys. Brandon's looking to make a move on Max. Back in P6. Obviously none of these guys are completely out of playoff contention, but I mean, this is the point where, for somebody like Judson, A, stage points matter. B, if he finishes first, that's a 5 bonus point jump. And I think Judson. I mean, we'll talk a little bit later about our calls for the race, but John Crosby's always a favorite, but always fun to root for Judson as well.
We say that we've got guys trying to make a move on Hinton and pull Kuhn with him out of 4 here. Right at the start-finish line, they just do pass and maybe not clear him going into 1, but they'll probably possibly finish it here in 1 and 2. He clears him. We'll roll up in front of him and try to hunt down Max. I'm starting to wonder if maybe Hinton's right rear is a little hot.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say something about that. I mean, the first stage was 20 laps. This is going to be 30 laps, right? Most of these guys, or if not all of them, they're going to run the full 30 laps, right? They have what they have to that next stage break. And, who's saving, who's pushing too hard? Brandon, maybe if he got a little hot, it's got to cool that tire down.
Crosby's trying to get some clean air on the bottom of Curtis. He puts down and makes him get a little tight, wash up out of 4. You're smart enough, you know how to work that dirty air. You throw that dirty air on him in the middle of the corner, make him tight. He doesn't get the good run out of the corner, and you can pull away, get a 10th or 2. If he gets up on the bottom, your rear end like that is a little different, though. He can manipulate you. Oh, here we go. Dive low into 3. Looks like Curtis concedes, so they don't race him too hard and they fall back in line, so they keep rolling.
Yeah, he just blasted right by him. And just to bring up the top 5, now that John Crosby's made that move on Judson, John Crosby's in first, Justin Curtis, Hunter Davis in third, Jason Phillips, our golden ticket winner from the earlier race, and Max rounds out the top 5.
Starting to get slowly at the end of these the run on these tires, and you can really tell as they get a little tight and loose at the same time. Some tight in, some loose off.
Yeah,
Had
and the
a quick
first
run up at the wall a minute ago out of 4. I thought he was going to kill it, but he saved it.
Yeah, and again, there's another one right behind Max.
Right.
Pretty close. I saw that. Top 4 pretty tight. Max is kind of gapped in the middle. Then we got 6 through 9 running another pack of 4. Then they're kind of spread out 10 through 14.
Yeah, Kuhn, Hinton, and Geist are really battling hard. The more they do that, the more it's going to allow Sousa to get up in there and make a move on them.
Yeah, that's a pretty good battle back there.
I'm assuming that's how you say his name. Hopefully I'm not jacking it up.
You totally nailed it. Yeah, we got the tight pack up front. Max kind of the sandwich in the middle, and these next 4 that we're watching right now. I mean, they're battling pretty hard. And the interesting thing with stage points, right? I mean, the first 4, they can fight each other for an extra point or 2. Max is trying to catch up to that group. 6 to 10 now, they're getting pretty tight. That we're kind of watching here, and it'll be interesting to see if some of those guys are going to fight for an extra point or 2. 11 to 14, they realize they don't have any stage points. They're kind of they're saving. They got what they got,
and they're just hoping something happens and somebody in front of them spins out and they can gain a spot or 2. Or they burn their stuff up and they can run them down here at the end of this stage.
Yeah, and as we're talking about the guys at the back, I mean, Hunter's really getting close to Jason Phillips there. Again, Jason's stage points don't really matter for him. This is more about just, proving yourself in the Premier League. But it'll be interesting to see if Hunter tries to make a move on him for that extra point, or if he's content with, those points where he's at in 4th place.
Now it looks like Max is starting to drive a little harder now and run Davis back down in 4th.
Yeah, it's interesting because right now, in about a lap or 2, we're at the point where this is where their tires were for the first stage, right? So now they're entering new territory where, these are extra laps they didn't run earlier.
It seemed like somebody tagged the wall as they were entering 1. Phillips is who it was. Kuhn slaps the wall a little bit off of 2. And Phillips trying to throw dirty air on Davis's front end. That way he can't catch him, get the drive off. Crosby starting to pull away a little bit. He's gained put almost a full second on Curtis.
Yeah, and it's become a regular occurrence. Another little tap there. Another regular occurrence with John Crosby leading. Obviously, he's leading in points. He's leading this race, so we've seen this quite a bit. But Judson, he, like I said earlier, he's got nothing to lose. He is, he's fighting to maintain that P2 position for the next few laps.
Curtis is running high in 1 and 2. Maybe he's trying to cool his tires now.
And 50 will be our stage break. So, we're going to have 5 laps to go, when we cross the start finish here.
And the one who's really going to love that stage break is the 69 of Perron, get some of his damage fixed and be able to catch back up with the field without going a lap down.
Yeah, our leagues, 2 of our leagues run stages. This league obviously runs stages. We've been talking about it. Next Gen tomorrow night, we run stages there. The other races, we don't run stages. So, It's it's good and bad. I mean, depending on what your strategy is. Where the stage breaks come, as we watch, Jason Phillips there trying to make a move on Judson, and we'll see if he can catch him in the last couple laps. There were more wall taps. Was that to 35? Yeah. So 8's going to make, or the 001 car. We see 8 on our screens, but he's probably going to make this pass.
And the more they fight, though, it's going to allow Hunter Davis and the 88 to start pulling up on their bumpers, maybe make a move, make a pass, and get some more stage points.
Yeah, and it was probably a month ago. I called Hunter.
Oh, we got dented in the wall.
Uh-oh. And he's coming down hard.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jeff.
No, you're totally good, because you saw it before, right? You and I are both watching different feeds. We got different cars we're following. Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of coined Hunter the Swiss Army knife, because, man, that guy does it all for the league. Not only does he race for wins and points and championships, but he's also, running a league. He does the race committee. The guy does a lot for this league, and hats off to Hunter Davis.
Phillips is now starting to pull away from Curtis. Now Davis is starting to slowly reel in Curtis.
Yeah, we're getting really close to that caution.
I think the little bit of wall scrubbing for Max hurt his front end a little bit. He's not losing anything from Kuhn behind him, but they're starting to lose the pack for the front end, the front four.
Yeah, and again, just looking at their fastest lap times versus now. I mean, let's say fastest is 30.3 to 30.5 for most of these guys. Right now they're running 31.8s, 31.9. Some guys run 32s. So, again, we're seeing a fall off from these tires, and this, we're setting up for the last stage here. We're gonna have the break here in a second. Caution's out. They're gonna have to break this last stage up, right? There's no way around it, and as we go here, I believe we are going to have a quick break in the action. Maybe see a little commercial, maybe get a little live feed, and let our producer Damon take it away. Welcome back, race fans. We are getting ready to exit turn 4. We will quickly see the pace car pull in. And just to let you guys know who are watching on YouTube right now, if you got a driver you're watching as the pace car does a little slide job into the pit road, if you got a driver you're rooting for, shout it out. Let's hear it. And we're going to watch John Crosby in P1. He gets a great jump. Jason Phillips in P2. Boy, he's going to battle with Max, and Judson's trying to make that move on the inside. Max jumps down to the bottom. What do you think, Jamie? How's this going to finish out?
If it's anything like the first 2 stages of green flag racing, but as the stage gets longer or the runs get longer, tires get older, they get slicker, racing gets heavier, so we might actually see a caution.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, these guys run so clean. We don't normally see many cautions, but we stack up on a restart like this. You never know. This is a long run, right? We're going to 125 from 50, so we got a couple of cool down laps there. We're at 54 right now, so there will be some pitting. There's going to be some strategy involved. It's going to be really interesting to see who does what.
Yes, we talked about that as top Perron was loving that caution at the end of that stage. He's starting to move back up, making the pass on Burley out of 4. Wants to get back up there and be a contender at the end of this race.
Yeah, I'm going to borrow a phrase from my fellow broadcaster, Jonathan Medlin. Absolutely. He's thankful for that. I checked with Max. Max is my son, same last name, obviously. We're related. Check to see if he had any damage. He didn't really have much damage. I expect almost the same with Todd, so we should see Todd making some moves here.
Got some heavy racing up front. We got Kuhn, Phillips, Davis, and Dinda all battling for 3rd.
Yeah, these 6 are tight, right? I mean, just watching these guys battle right now on our feed. I mean, again, Jason was our ticket winner into this race. He's got nothing to lose. Judson also has nothing to lose. He's trying to make it into the playoffs. So it's going to be really interesting to see, again, as we see making a move under Max there. Hunter. Yeah, these guys are tight. I don't know. This is I kind of like this track, racing it. I mean, with these trucks, it's almost wide open, to start, and these guys are definitely showing that.
And the top 6 there starting to pull away, with Kuhn being the trail guy, pulling up on Davis and Dinda going into 3rd. Dinda trying to run the high side. He has no help. He's going to have the momentum.
Yeah, and it's hard to bring up points or standings or golden ticket when these guys are running so tight up front. Ooh, that's a net code spin. We got to spin. Caution is out.
Caution is out.
Yeah, we're going to watch that replay here in a second, but that looked to me like a netcode spin. Jason Phillips into the 35 machine. Did not see any contact, but it definitely looked like netcode to me. Here we go with the replay.
Oh,
I don't know. What do you think?
Looked like netcode, almost a foot and a half in between them.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, any of us who he didn't touch them. And then, of course, those guys stack up. Looks like Hunter got a little dent in his bumper. Not sure who tagged Hunter, but here we got a better see. Totally netcode.
Wow.
And for those of us who race, those of you who've watched enough races, we've all seen the netcode. Little devil come in and bite us. Hopefully he doesn't have a lot of damage. We're only a couple laps in. Maybe the guys in the back come in, get fresh tires, fuel. But I would expect most of these guys who are clean up front to not come in. Maybe Hunter's got a little bumper damage. Maybe he comes in. But I think we will probably go to a break and let Damon take it away if that's indeed what we're doing.
Anybody home?
In here.
Whoa, Jenny, is your sister home?
No. But I'm here.
Congratulations. You passed the test.
A test?
I put my sister up to it.
Oh, Jake, you do love me.
race time! Hey, son of a gun! It's refreshers time!
And we are back as the lights are off on the pace car. We're too wide. Coming around turn 3 and 4. We're going to go green this time. Bye. Who's that up for? Is that Curtis or Crosby up front? Going to lead us to the green flag in the restart zone. We got Phillips on the outside, followed by Denda, Hinton, Sousa, and Holloway. We are green again. Crosby gets a good start. Phillips not so much. Max is going to pull up in front of him. Cautions tend to breed cautions, though, especially the later in the race we get.
Yeah, and it was really an unfortunate incident there. I mean, I kind of saw it live and we watched the replay. Totally net code with Jason and Judson there, but you know, those incidents happen in iRacing, and when we get packed up again, they can happen again.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Max took 4 tires, went down pit road, correct? And Crosby did not.
No, the top 6 right now are on lap 12 on their old tires. Judson's actually the first guy. He got the damage repaired, whatever he could. So Judson, Jonathan probably had the freshest tires in 7 and 8.
Max is trying to make the move on the outside.
And not surprised those top guys stayed out, right? I mean, they kind of split a little bit up front. The guys probably with damage came in. But, you know, they only had 8 or 9 laps on their tires. So even the guys who pitted still have to stop again. So not a lot of advantage, but, you know, Max is getting a little wiggly there on John's outside. He's trying to make a move.
And you got Crosby guarding that inside like the gates of hell, not allowing them to any room.
Yeah, I just heard Max just kind of repeat what you just said on the Trek mic. And I really like John. John's a character. John's a lot of fun. You know, he does. Listen to track mic again as I'm talking, but you know, John is I don't know what John's age is, but he's very youthful in nature with our practice sessions. He's a lot of fun.
As they fight, it's allowing Phillips to close back in and start putting the heat on Denda.
Yeah, I kind of heard Max saying, I'm just going to kind of hang out where I am. You know, I'm good with this on the track mic. And, you know, Jason's like, all right, I can hear that too, guys. I'm going to come for you.
Don't blink now, but Curtis has made his way back up to 6th after that accident. He is putting the heat on Hinton. He wants to get back up there and start racing Crosby for the lead again.
Yeah, I mean, you know, unfortunate event. You know, we watched the replay. It was totally net code. Probably had a little bit of damage, but, you know, Judson right now has the freshest tires. You know, he's going to make that pass on Brandon here, it looks like, as we're watching the feed. And, you know, he's got nothing to lose. He's going to get every point he can.
As Justin makes the pass on Hinton, Dion is right behind him. He's trying to make the pass as well. They're fighting behind, and here comes Hunter Davis under Geist. trying to drag Ben Kuhn with him. And Geis is going to fall back into place, but Kuhn's going to have a good run off too. He might dive low here, try to pass him in 3. Get real close, but they stay off each other. Geis is going to hold the position for now. Davis
I mean,
pull away.
yeah, and all these guys are diving that apron, right? I saw almost somebody just trimmed the grass there on that corner, but man, it's we talked about there are few cautions with Premier. Again, cautions breed cautions, net code and everything else that factors in. Human nature, it happens. But man, these guys are pretty tight.
Strung out a little bit, got single file. A little bit of racing in the back, but nothing special at the moment. Holloway trying to make the move on Perrant, who's made a recovery from his little mishap in the wall earlier in the race.
Yeah, just watching these guys single file, it kind of, it reminds me a little bit of NASCAR. In our legacy race, we also had another top 3 finisher, Tyler Tomasi, who is actually a NASCAR driver. He's raced truck, Xfinity. He races in our league, and it's very exciting for some of us. When we get a pro out there racing with us. And the interesting thing is, the pros don't always win it in these leagues, right? It's our drivers can compete with them, and it's. I love it when we see a Tyler Tomasi race with us, and I love it when I see him battling some of our regulars.
And Judson Curtis has made his way up to 3rd and putting a lot of heat on Dinda.
Yeah, and I just heard Max call out on the radio, if you can pass me, go for it. And looks like Max is going to give that spot up.
Yeah, if you watch, Curtis is running a slightly higher line in his entry into 3, probably roughly about half a car to maybe a car higher than everyone else. That way he was getting a hellacious drive off of 4. Here, his entry's a little low. Crosby's going to pull on him again.
And he definitely has, 7-8 laps fresher tires. So Judson's got a little fresher. He's got some fresh shoes on there. And, again, these guys are all going to have to pit. So Judson's probably thinking, hey, why not? I'm going to get what the position I can while I can.
Right behind them, got Phillips putting some heat on Dinda. As Hinton putting the heat on Sousa. Dion putting the heat on Hinton. We're just all over the place.
I would not be surprised if Max gives that position to Jason here within the next 2-3 laps, and we'll see what Brandon and Sousa can pull out here.
Yeah, I probably would let him go ahead and get by, burn up his right front a little quicker than mine. That way towards the end of the run, I'm the faster vehicle.
Yeah, and I can speak for Max. He's my kid. Historically, he's been known for burning up his stuff as fast as possible and throwing caution to the wind. He's playing a little more conservative these days, so it'll be interesting to see if he can, play conservative and pull it out, a top 3 in the end, or if he's already burned it up.
I've got a couple of trucks in the wall off of 2 to 5 and the 60. Sousa and Hinton slapping it. Dion's going to try to make the move on Sousa here off of 4. He's going to clear him.
Yeah, and just I am teammates with Brandon Hinton, Todd Perrant, and Brandon's son Dylan. We're a 4-team group. Brandon's taught me a lot about running the low line, saving tires. So, when I see Brandon get up high, it's usually shocking to me. Todd's a little different. Todd has a different strategy a little bit, but Brandon's normally a bottom feeder for sure on these types of tracks.
A little bit of weaving, a little bit of bobbing. Crosby starting to pull away from Curtis here. He's got about a 2-second lead, I believe.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that when you brought it up. He's about 8 tenths ahead. Max is a couple tenths behind Judson. Jason's right on Max's tail. Brandon Hinton's just a little bit behind Jason. Then we got a little bit of a gap back to 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, those guys are all tight as well. I mean, it's pretty tight racing here. What are we? 28 laps past the stage. Some of these guys do have fresher tires.
We got a little three-way battle here for 8th place between Geist, Sousa, and Kuhn. Kuhn stuck on the outside. Or excuse me, Sousa stuck on the outside. Might gonna give way here, so there's not too much slowing down. Oh, he's gonna battle back. He said, not today.
Yeah, it looks like Jason has finished that move on Max. Again, don't know if Max is saving a little bit. You know, Brandon's right behind them. But just to call out some of our fellow broadcaster, Hunter Davis does some of our broadcasting. Ben Kuhn does a lot of our races, and Ben will step in when no one else wants to, and we'll sometimes do the races solo, or if we can get somebody else to help him out. So shout out to our fellow broadcasters. Always love it. You know, we can cheer on our fellow broadcasters.
Yeah, I think Max's right front is a little toasty.
Yeah, Brandon's getting ready to make a move on the inside of Max, and we can see it here in our feed. He's going to make that pass pretty easily on the inside. I don't know if Max burned up his stuff or if he's saving. Hard to say with Max. But, you know, Brandon's going to try to make his way up to Jason here pretty shortly. And, you know, Max, he's not giving up on that spot just yet. He's still fighting Brandon pretty hard.
I mean, racing just like playing poker. Sometimes you got to be coy with them and make them think you're burning your stuff up.
And again, our stage break, you know, till the finish. I mean, these guys are going to have to split this up, right? So the guys who save maybe can run a little harder, a little longer. You know, it's going to be really interesting to see when these guys break this up.
Honestly, at this point, they're gonna have to make a move soon to shake it up a little bit. Because if not, Crosby's gonna just leave everybody in the dust.
Yeah, and the one thing about John is he, you know, whenever we break this stage up, if it's without a caution, you know, he usually executes pretty well on those green flag stops. So whatever his lead is now, he may increase that with his stop. But, you know, Judson, again, has 7-8 pressure laps on his tires. So, you know, and he still can't pull it in on John Crosby.
Well, he's changed his entry in 3 and 4. He's back down lower than he had been when he was making his quicker runs. And I think that's hindering his exit off, like he's not getting enough bite. Hunter Davis has made his way back up to 6th, slowly starting to reel in the top 5.
We got the 3, who's currently in 7th place, calling in. He's pitting. You know, he may try a little early strategy as we close call there, but he did inform them he was pitting. So it's up to those guys to kind of miss him. So he's definitely coming in first. It's a long stretch to the end, so we'll see how that plays out.
He should come down and get 4 fresh sneakers and a full tank of fuel.
And it's just really interesting strategy, right? I mean, we just showed Flash Brandon on the screen there. I know he's a tire saver on the bottom, but you know, Judson to me is the one I'm really curious about because he had to come in and get some repairs. I think he may have slid into his pit stall a little sideways. We talked about it during the break, but you know, if Judson can't catch John with those fresher tires, you know, I'm not sure anybody can.
Well, he was running them down. He did burn his stuff up though, driving through the field to get back to 2nd place.
That's a pretty good call.
Looks like Davis is slowly catching up on the tail end of the 48 of Dinda. Almost that top 5, at least for now. Sousa going to dive low and come off, passing Geist off of 4 for 7th place, or 8th place, excuse me.
Yeah, and this is our closest battle right now on the screen. I mean, these guys are pretty tight, 5.1, 5.5, 5.7, 5.9. So, you know, these guys are pretty close to each other, relatively speaking.
You got like 4 or 5 trucks right on top of each other, all battling for top 10 finishes. Points matter. Tick, tick. Oh, we got another one diving low. We got Curtis on pit road.
That's pretty interesting, consider he probably had fresher tires than everyone else, but we'll see how that plays out.
Trying to short pit, thinking we're going to go green the rest of the way. I don't know how that's going to play out, being the only one that just pit, so anything could happen. We'll see.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, these guys run green mostly. You know, he's going to have 35 laps till the end. But, you know, John's got now a 2.5 second gap on Jason Phillips in P2. So I think I would expect John to run this as long as possible.
As we say that, John just come over the radio. He's coming down pit road this time by.
Yeah, and I would expect the rest of the field, and I hear them all calling it out. They're all coming in.
Pit party, it seems like.
Yeah, and this is about, I mean, you know, from 50 to 90, 40-ish, you know, you may get an extra lap or two. Some of these guys may try to tough it out for an extra couple of laps if they came in and topped off, but yeah, it's a pit party.
Max was one of the few cars that stayed out, along with Burley, Perrant.
Yeah, and he won't, I mean, they won't have many laps, right? Max did not come in on that caution and top off, so he's got to be right
Max
behind
now.
him. Yep.
Oh, and he spins it on pit road.
Oh. And whoever was behind Max had to check up hard.
That was Burley. That killed both of their time there. Hopefully it won't cost them too much track position.
We're watching the replay. He's just a little too fast. Yep, just a little too fast. So he's not going to get a penalty probably, but he just killed his finish. Now I say that, right? If we have a caution, which we don't have many in Premier, you know, if he's in the back, has an option to pit when the other guys don't. So we'll see. But, you know, Todd Perront's still hanging out there. You know, I think he may be coming in soon. Okay, Todd's came in.
On pit road right now. Let's see, who's the leader now? Todd's still currently the leader. I think Judson will be passing him now, though, if I'm not mistaken, for first.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Judson just come in like 3 laps ago?
He sure did.
So it's gonna be real interesting. I mean, Sean Dion has 8 laps. He came in a little early too. You know, Crosby came in 2 laps later, but Judson, I don't know. We didn't watch his replay live, but he must have had a phenomenal pit stop.
Yeah, Crosby's right behind him.
It's going to be interesting, right? With a little bit of a gap on Sean Dion in second place, John Crosby a 2.5 behind. You know, can Judson save enough and maintain that lead? Or, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Crosby kind of reels them in the next 5 to 10 laps.
And news from pit road is Dinda's mistake costly this race. He's falling back to 13th, unfortunately.
I'm curious if he didn't get a penalty or maybe just the spin itself pushed him a lap down.
thinking the spin itself, time-wise, I don't know. I didn't see his speed entering. That's unfortunate. He's usually up front, vying for the win every race. I'd say that Crosby is closing in on Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, he made quick work of Sean, but boy, again, Judson's tires are only 2 laps older than John, but John's so fast, I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a move here in the next 3 or 4 laps.
Phillips made quick work of Dion as well, and he's going to start reeling in Curtis and Crosby. It'll be a 3-truck battle for the win here in these last 30 laps, 28 laps. Hunter Davis and Brandon Hinton battling hard for 5th and 6th at the moment. I think Davis just passed him for 5th. He's got his eye set on Dion.
Yeah, and as we say that, it looks like Crosby and Curtis are neck to neck up front. I'm guessing Crosby's going to make a pass here pretty quick.
They're going to try to use that outside momentum and roll around him off of 2. But the more they fight, the closer Phillips gets. Phillips
Door-to-door action.
Run here into 3.
Yeah, and Jason's like, "Thank you, guys. I am going to pull up on your bumpers."
Still doesn't clear to 35. Judson battling hard here. Oh, he clears at 73.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring up Jason Phillips. I will not discount this guy's talents, right? He's not premier. He's new to our league. Probably could have been a premier. I don't know if he applied or not. These guys are bumper to bumper, right? Jason's licking his lips seeing that action because he's going to pull down behind.
Oh, yeah, he loves seeing them fight because it's going to make them wear their right fronts out quicker.
Yeah, and Jason's a really good driver. I mean, you can tell racing with these guys in our different leagues. As I mentioned earlier, in the legacy trucks, we got a little tap, maybe a second tap, from Judson. But Jason's a really good driver. He did not start in our legacy league right off the bat. He's probably got like 4 drops with 0 points, but he is gonna probably not only make the playoffs, but make a contention to win our legacy truck league.
Davis and Brandon Hinton have caught Dion in 1 and 2 and are making the pass, and Dion's not giving up easily. He can't fight too much. I think he's burning his stuff up. Davis has moved in to 4th place. Now he's just hoping there's a caution that he can get up fresh tires and make this a real race up front. Same with Max.
Yeah, Max is he needs that caution to get his lucky dog lap back. Unfortunate pit entry for Max, but we got a couple other guys in the back of the pack. Jonathan Geis, Todd Perrott, Chuck Burley, Mark Holloway. They're also hoping for a caution, and they don't care if it's net code or someone spin on the track. They just want to see a yellow flag.
Jason Phillips putting a lot of pressure on Curtis here. Got 22 laps to go. It seems as though Curtis may be starting to fall off.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, it almost looked like Jason got some funky air on Judson. Got him a little, not loose, but just a little uptight, and is going to make that move.
Curtis is going to try to battle back on the outside, though. But Phillips will have the line and going into 1 and clear him. Hinton and Davis have pulled away from Dion, and it looks like they're slowly starting to reel in the top 3 just a little bit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're 3 seconds behind Judson right now. So, again, maybe a couple more guys. Maybe they're saving a little bit, maybe not, but they would love to see a caution. And these guys run so clean. The cautions are few and far between, but I don't know. Producer Damon, can we get an in-car feed? I don't know who's the best car to show. Judson, Jason, John. Maybe Brandon, Hunter, one of those guys. Can we get an in-car feed for a couple seconds? We were watching that 5 machine in-car feed. Brandon's my teammate, but I also point out I love the fact that he runs the number 5. Kind of has a Hinton Motorsports painted on the machine. Kind of looks like my favorite driver, Kyle Larson. I believe that may be his favorite driver as well. But it's as we were on a little bit of a break. John Crosby's got a 2-second lead on Jason Phillips, who has a 2-second lead on Justin Curtis. Hunter Davis, Brandon Hinton are right behind Judson. So, if we're going to see a battle, it may be from 3 to 5th in the back of the pack. Hats off to Jason. Again, he's a great driver. I like Jason. Don't know him personally. Don't chat with him much. In our Discord feed, our Discord is very active. But watching these guys right now, we just showed the feed there, right? Judson, Hunter, Brandon. These guys are that may be the battle for points right here in these last 10 laps.
Yeah, I say a couple more laps, and Davis will pass Curtis for 3rd. He may even drag Hinton with him.
Yeah, and just looking at their stints, I mean, we are 23, 25, 23. Sean Dion's on lap 29 with his tires. So, these guys are all pretty even. And unfortunately for the field, I mean, John does have the freshest tires back to P4, this group. So I don't see any reason for John to give up this lead. I mean, I'm not going to call a winner at this point, but it's going to be, unless we get a caution. Yeah, man, just heard one of the drivers, won't mention his name. There might be debris on a track. It's kind of a joke. Trying to get out of caution. Some of these guys, maybe one lap down, want a caution. And these guys are spread out enough, right? I mean, Sousa in 8th, Perrant in 9th. I mean, they're neck and neck. But these guys are spread out enough. I mean, Judson, Hunter, Brandon's fallen a little bit behind, but still, none of these guys are within a tenth of each other to kind of bring out a caution.
And now they're all just a ride along till the end of the race, unless something crazy happens. Saving tires there to make sure you can be there, because it seems like Sousa's starting to run Dion down for 7th. I think Dion's burning stuff up. Either his right front or his right rear.
Yeah, just talking about points. I mean, as we came into this race, Todd Perrant was a cutoff with 268 points. Jonathan Geis at 253. So, a couple of these guys we're talking about. Judson's got a long way to go to kind of make up some ground. But again, Crosby. These races have been a John Crosby show. I mean, again, last season, the last race of the season, he was way down in points. And literally, it was first, second, third were all separated by a point. So amazing finish to our season.
Yeah, if Curtis can hold off Davis here, it'd be a good
we got to
night
spin.
for him.
Someone might
got
be
to
the
spin on the backstretch.
Is that the 3 car?
The 3 of Dion.
And he's off track, so we stay green. And so we can see the Jags car. It's tough to say. He may have been coming into pit. He may have some technical difficulties. And we stay green with we're going to be 4 laps to go when we cross the start finish. John Crosby's 2.5 seconds in front of the second place Jason Phillips. Justin Curtis another 2 seconds back from Jason Phillips.
And Hunter Davis doing everything he can to reel in Curtis for 3rd.
Yeah, he's 2 to 3 tenths back. And, again, Hunter is currently in 2nd points. Judson is in that I have nothing to lose position in P13 with the point standings not currently on track. But, Judson needs every point he can get.
Oh, he's starting to reel him in just a little bit. He pulled up on him another half a truck.
Yeah, and every time I see that Whataburger car, I'm always hungry.
I've had that and In-N-Out when I was stationed in Sierra Vista, Arizona.
Well, thank you very much for that. And not sure who just came into pits. Somebody came into pit.
That would be, it's Phillips. Is he out of fuel? He's Jason Phillips on pit road. He was just running 2nd. Does these guys have enough fuel to make it? We got 3 to go.
No, they should be good. I'm just going to speculate. Well, he just said yes, unfortunately. He shouldn't have been, which I thought maybe he was just pulling in to say, hey, you guys are all fighting for points. Let me get out of the way. I proved myself. But the fact that he was short, man, this is pretty exciting.
This is telling. I wonder what's going on with the leaders then. Because I don't know what the fuel mileage is here.
It should have been 40 laps, and these guys are only in stint 33. And Judson's talking on the mic. Again, John Crosby's looking like he's going to clear this out. Congrats to Judson. He's probably going to finish in P2. Judson, like I said, he needs every point he can get. Not sure how we ended up short on Jason.
Davis is right on Kurt's bumper right now off of 2 here in the backstretch. We see what happens going in 3 here. Curtis is going to prevail, and Crosby in the 73 is your winner, followed by Curtis, Davis, Hinton, and Ben Kuhn round out top 5. And
yeah, love hearing. We're listening to these guys on track bike congratulate each other. It's kind of funny. John's hilarious. Loved hearing John on the track mic. He's so fun to listen to.
I'm still curious how Phillips ran out of fuel.
Hunter Davis, our P3 finisher. Hopefully we're still live. What do you think, Hunter, on that race?
I thought that was a fun one, man. I had a little bit of damage that caused me to have to pit off a cycle there after stage 2. So I kind of fell to the back. It was pretty difficult to scrap my way back forward. But overall, I mean, a 3rd place finish, I'm happy with it. Congrats on, to Judson and to John, and good racing up there with Brandon as well. That was all around a really good race for us.
What was going through your mind when 3 laps to go, you seen Phillips hit pit road?
I mean, to be honest, I kind of figured he ran out of fuel, but the one thing that was going through my mind is Indiana just beat Ohio State. I was going to take over the number 1 seed, so
really
throw that out there. Yeah, I was watching the football game on my other side, but I saw him hit the pits, man, and I had a feeling it was going to be a fueling issue. I was trying to hold out just a little bit, and that one was a tough one to call when to pit for the final stop.
That was a good recovery after that early race incident you were caught up in.
I appreciate it, guys, and like I said, congrats to Judson and to John. Good up there racing with Brandon, and all around overall good race. 1 caution throughout it, so yeah.
And good points tonight for you.
Judson Curtis, congratulations on P2. We know you've got nothing to lose in your hunt for the 8th place for the playoff points, and I think this is going to help you out a little bit. How'd you feel about tonight?
Man, I just could not. I couldn't get comfortable all night. The truck didn't feel good. The track was okay. I got into a little bit of trouble there. I shut the door either on Hunter or Max there, and caused a caution there. And I apologize to everybody involved in that one, but I could never really quite recover from it. We got a little bit of damage from it, and I felt like it was just a parachute back there. I just never had anything for John, and John was definitely the fastest truck out there. So congrats to John on the win, and just looking to take home some points today.
Yeah, I think you did that. Quick comment: we saw that incident. Totally net code. You'll watch the replay. It looked like net code to me, and we'll let Jamie take this away.
Yeah, so after that, I seen you put your nose down and just drove hard to the front, and we were kind of talking about it throughout the broadcast, and you got up there, and you seemed like you initially had something for John, and then he just, I don't know. It didn't seem like you were really losing.
Yeah, I really think that damage had a play in it. I probably had about 2 minutes, maybe about a minute and a half. I felt like on the longer run, I probably could have gotten to him, but just that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we'll eat it and put it in the oven and bake it again.
Hey, a lot of these races are races of attrition, especially if you're pointing your way in and doing everything you can to earn every single point. And it was a good night for you, and congrats on second.
I appreciate it, fellas, and thank you for Damon for always putting the broadcast on. You fellas do an amazing job, and I always enjoy it.
John, I always enjoy watching you not only race Premier in our practice sessions at any other leagues. Hats off to you tonight. Sorry, it's the John Crosby show. I'm gonna let Jamie take over.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
So were you saving any fuel there at the end? Because we noticed when Phillips hit pit road, he was low on fuel or needed gas.
I was not. I was, I think, 3 to the good. I don't know if he pit before me. I don't really know how that, or he actually pit with me, I think, if I remember correctly. And I just don't think he took enough fuel, I guess, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, because he was giving everybody hell tonight, being the guy who got his golden ticket from the legacy race.
Oh man, it did suck. I watched that and I couldn't believe it. And I was watching my relative and I just see him just start slowing down. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? I was like, please don't wreck. That was the last thing I needed. But yeah, no. And then he kind of called over the radio, said he was short on fuel. So I was like, oh man, that sucks. But yeah, no, we were 3 laps to the good. So I don't really know what happened there.
Well, it was a good race all in all. Looks like you're set to be leading the points heading into the playoffs, if I'm hearing it correctly. So congrats on the win tonight, and look forward to talking to you many more races until the end of the season.
Awesome. I hope so too. But yeah, tonight was definitely fun, and I hope it was fun for you guys too. And thank you for putting these on. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
I think that'll do us for tonight. Congrats to John Crosby for winning the race. Congrats to Jamie for joining me and Edwin in the broadcast booth. And Jamie, any last things? I'll say see ya.
Yep.